Welcome to Island Vibe Cooking with me, Rose. Today I have a good one for you guys. I am going to be making lasagna soup. If you love anything about lasagna, you are going to enjoy this soup. It has basically everything lasagna has, okay? It's kind of cold outside, so I thought, why not? This is the perfect season for the lasagna soup, okay? Let me show you guys how to make it. To begin, I have a shallow pot here. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. Once you're done, you are going to add in your Italian sausage. Italian sausage has lots and lots of flavor. That's why I am using it. I'm also going to be using some beef, ground beef as well. Now you can use just beef only or just ground pork only, but I'm using both because it will add lots of flavor. Now I'm going to be adding about ½ pound of ground beef in there. Like I said, you can use ground beef only or sausage only, or you can use both. Now you're going to break the sausage with the wooden spoon. Now I'm going to cook this until it's no longer pink, until it's nice and brown. Now I know I'm using a shallow pan here. You can use a Dutch pot for this, something deeper. I'm only using this because I'm filming and I want you guys to see what I'm cooking, so that's why. I'm going to make sure I break the meat apart. You don't want them to stick together. So as soon as you place it in here, try to break it apart. Now, if you're using a fatty ground beef, you might have to drain the fat. You might have to remove some of the grease because this is kind of lean. It's about, I believe, 80-20. And it's not showing a lot of sign of fat in here because I use a little bit of that ground beef. So I am going to add in some onions, diced onions. Mix it up together. Also, I have some garlic here, about 2 garlic cloves. Now I'm going to mix that in just like that. We have some diced up tomatoes that I'm going to be adding in. Of course, you can use fresh tomatoes. This is about 4 ounces of canned tomatoes, diced up. Add that in, mix it up together. Also, we have a little bit of tomato paste. The tomato paste is going to also add color, and not only that, it's going to give the soup a nice thick consistency. I'm going to fry that for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then we can add the rest of the ingredients. The ground beef and the ground sausage is looking amazing. It's smelling amazing. You can smell the garlic. The tomatoes are getting nice and soft. I'm about to season. Now, I have a few seasonings here. I have onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, ground black pepper, chicken bouillon. Also, I have salt in here. I'm going to pour that in and mix it up together. It's smelling amazing. I have oregano in here as well. I also going to be adding 2 beef cubes. This is going to really add that beefy flavor to our lasagna. Now I am going to pour in some tomato sauce. Pour that in just like that, and I believe this is the garlic, roasted garlic one, and nothing is more delicious than a garlicky, tomatoey lasagna. So I'm going to add that in, give it a stir, just like that. Now, I have beef broth here. You can use chicken broth. I'm going to pour that in here. I have about 4 cups, but I am only going to be using 3 cups of that. Pour that in. Let's see. Yeah, 3 cups is perfect. We're going to give that a nice stir, just like that. Looking good, looking good. Now I have about 5 lasagna noodles here. I'm going to break them into small pieces and just add it in here. Just randomly break them into small pieces and add them to your soup. Give it a stir just like that. I'm going to add in some fresh parsley. Also, I have some basil here, fresh basil, that I'm going to add in. Give it a mix again, and then we're going to cover this. Now, make sure to let this simmer on low, okay? Very low heat, so it can cook, especially the ground beef. I like it to be very tender. So let that cook for about 7 to 10 minutes until the noodles are nice and soft. So I'm going to cover it. Just cover it, allow it to simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes. Now, you cannot make lasagna without the ricotta mixture. I have a bowl here. While the soup is simmering, I am going to make the lasagna mixture. So I have a cup of Parmesan cheese here. Pour it in here, this bowl. And another cup of ricotta cheese. Now, if you don't like ricotta cheese, just don't use it, okay? Also, we are going to be adding a handful of fresh parsley. I'm saving some so I can garnish later, so a handful. And also, I am going to be adding some fresh basil in here. Dice them up. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to mix everything together. Now, if you like, you can add some salt and pepper, but I don't think you need it because it's going to melt right into the sauce. Now, the fresh basil is going to add a nice flavor to your soup. It's fresh, it's at its best, okay? It's going to taste so good. Now I have it nice and mixed up. I am going to set it aside and wait for my soup to be done. Guys, let me tell you, this lasagna take the whole house. It smells amazing already. It's looking good, okay? It's been simmering for about 7 minutes now. Look how beautiful this is. I am going to add some heavy cream in there to make it nice and creamy. Now, if you don't like the heavy cream, just don't add it, but I like it creamy. So I'm going to pour 1 cup of that in here. And we're going to let it simmer for about 2 to 3 more minutes. And it should be done. It's looking good, don't it? It's looking amazing. Okay, guys, our soup is nice and ready. Let me tell you, this soup is going to be a staple in your home, especially now it's cold outside. Like the kids, my kids, they love soups, and I know they're going to devour this. So I'm going to plate it. It looks amazing. Turn off the stove. Oh, it looks so good. Smells amazing, creamy, delicious goodness. Looks so good. Oh my goodness. The basil, the thyme, parsley, the Italian seasoning, the sausage. You guys, this is heaven, okay? Heaven on earth. Amazing. You are good to go. It's hearty, creamy, delicious goodness. And I like to get a little piece of everything. I like the tomatoes, the lasagna noodles, everything, okay? All right, this is it right here. Come take a good look. It smells amazing. Now, you cannot forget about your ricotta cheese mixture. I have a ice cream scooper here so it can look very nice. I am going to place it right in the middle. It's not coming. Oh, there you go. Oh my, it looks good. I am going to sprinkle some fresh parsley on there. Make it nice and pretty. Oof, oof, ooh. Let me tell you, serve this to someone you love, okay? Because this is your heart in a bowl. It's so good. I've been waiting to try this the whole time I was cooking it. I'm so hungry. And you know, I'm about to dive in, okay? Let's give it a try. It's creamy, it smells amazing. The smell is just killing me right now. I gotta get a little bit of everything. The ricotta cheese, of course, with the piece of noodle. Let's give it a try. So good. Wow, this is amazing. I cannot believe how easy this is to make. You know how long lasagna takes? This is super easy. Don't feel like making lasagna? Try lasagna soup. So good. You're going to enjoy it. Hopefully you can try this recipe very soon. It is absolutely delicious. Up next, I'm going to show you guys how to make the most flaky, delicious salmon recipe. Stay tuned.
What's going on, Claudia?
I'm in the White House, and if I'm not on the show tomorrow, then something happened.
You in prison.
TGIF.
Listen to what you just said. You are broadcasting your show from the White House. If that is not the hope and the dream of the slaves, then I do not know what is.
Live and interactive.
I just met the White House press secretary, and she knows me, and I think she knows me from T. I said, I have to go broadcast. She goes, oh, that's right, you're live. And I'm like, you know about us.
On Fox Soul.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanted to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Now I'm going to show you guys how to make the most delicious flaky honey garlic salmon fillet. It's so delicious, so easy to make. Also, I have this amazing creamy mashed potatoes to go along with it. So let's begin. Okay guys, I have about 3 to 4 small russet potatoes here that I cut into small little pieces. Make sure to rinse them about twice to remove the starch. The mashed potatoes will be more pleasant to eat. So I have the water here. I am going to place the potatoes right in there. Place that in here just like so. Because this is a garlic mashed potatoes, I am going to make sure I add 1 garlic clove in here. Okay, so it can be nice and garlicky, and make sure to mash your garlic to release the garlicky flavor. Add that in there. Also, I have the salt that I'm going to sprinkle in here, and I'm going to cover it and allow the potatoes to be nice and tender. Shouldn't take long, about 10 minutes. While the potatoes are boiling, I'm getting started with the salmon. So I have about 1 pound of salmon fillet here, nice and clean. I am going to drizzle some olive oil. Well, before we drizzle some olive oil, I like to pat it dry with a napkin first. So patting the salmon with a napkin will help you get a nice crispy on the outer layer of the salmon. If there's water, it's just going to basically boil. So be sure to pat it dry with the napkin on both sides if you can. Once you have it nice and pat dry, you are going to drizzle some olive oil. It doesn't have to be olive oil, but I like to use olive oil. Rub that in, make sure you flip it over and rub it in as well. This is supposed to be a skinless. As you can see, they didn't really do a good job with removing the skin, but that's okay. I have my seasoning here. I have a few of them. I have Old Bay, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika. I have Italian seasoning, ground black pepper, lemon pepper. Just mix that together, and I have about 1 tablespoon each. Mix that together just like so, and then you are going to sprinkle the seasoning all over your salmon. And I like to start with the back part first, okay? So I'm going to season this part, this side. I forgot to cut the salmon into fillet, so I am going to cut it now into 3 fillets. So we have 3 fillets here. Now I can season properly. Now make sure you rub that seasoning in just like that. And I do season my salmon a little bit heavy because once you put it in the pan, you're cooking it, you might lose some of that seasoning. I do like a flavorful salmon, so that's why I season my salmon that way, okay? It's nice and seasoned now. Now I'm going to set that aside so we can work on our mashed potatoes. Our potatoes are nice and tender. I love the color, it's nice and white. That's what happens when you actually take your time to rinse the starch from the potatoes. They're nice and cooked, fork tender. So I'm going to strain the water. All right. Now I am going to strain the potatoes. However, you can use a potato masher to mash the potatoes. I like it very creamy, so that's why I like to strain it instead of, mash it. So it doesn't really matter. It's based on your preference, basically. Now this takes a little hand work, but you can do it. Or you can buy yourself an actual, I don't really make potatoes like that. So if you do make potatoes a lot, mashed potatoes a lot, you can use a potato masher. That will make your life easier. Once you have the mashed potato nice and mashed, you're going to pour a little bit of the heavy cream. Also, I am going to add some butter. This is unsalted, so I'm going to sprinkle some salt in there, just like so. And I'm going to mix it up together. It's going to be nice and creamy and buttery. And I have my heat on medium-low at this point just to heat up the heavy cream as well as the butter. You see how smooth and creamy that is already. It looks so creamy. I want to taste it right now. You see? Perfect. The garlic is not too strong, not too much, just right in the middle. Just perfect, okay? I'm going to set that aside so we can start cooking our salmon. Up next, I'm going to put you guys on how to make the most flaky, perfectly cooked salmon. Stay tuned.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
Welcome inside the black box.
So you guys ready to have some fun?
Forget the acting studio. I'm here with you guys.
Creativity will find its way. It doesn't matter what the ethnicity is.
Television and movies are the mediums of stereotypes.
Just because we all have the same color don't mean we have the same experience.
Your uniqueness is your greatness.
Welcome inside the black box.
Every Monday on Fox Soul.
What's going on, Claudia?
I'm in the White House, and if I'm not on the show tomorrow, then something happened.
You in prison.
TGIF.
Listen to what you just said. You are broadcasting your show from the White House. If that is not the hope and the dream of the slaves, then I do not know what is.
Live and interactive.
I just met the White House press secretary, and she knows me, and I think she knows me from T. I have to go broadcast. She goes, oh, that's right, you're live. And I'm like, you know about us.
On Fox Soul.
We got a few new phrases the kids are out there saying, and I want you to tell us what you think they mean.
McMillan and Mara.
Donald Duckin.
I went to graduate school.
Every Thursday.
To avoid terms like this.
And this is what my life has come to.
All right, next one.
Cambridge.
Okay, Mr. Harvard. Proxy beef.
Oh, I know what this is. This is when you don't have a problem directly with the person.
How did you know this?
Because I speak English. Proxy.
To a medium-high heat skillet, you're going to drizzle some olive oil. This is about 3 to 4 tablespoons, okay? Not too much. You don't want your salmon to swim in the oil. So once that is nice and hot, you're going to place your salmon on there, okay? I'm going to place it skin side down. Okay? Just like so. Beautiful. I don't have any space for the other one, so for now, we're just going to cook 2. So I'm going to cook the salmon for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, then flip over, okay? All right, this is about 4 minutes later. I am going to flip it over. And to not break the salmon, it's best to hold it, then flip, okay? That's the best way to flip it so you don't break it. Now I'm going to flip this one over. And it's best to use a spatula like I'm using, then hold it with 3 fingers, then flip. All right. I'm going to let this cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. Then we can remove and set aside. Now I'm going to remove the salmon. It has the perfect crispy crust that I wanted. I like that part of the salmon when it's nice and crispy. I'm going to set that here. Beautiful. That here. Beautiful. Now I'm going to add the other salmon in here. Give that a few more minutes to cook on one side, then flip over. I'm going to remove that and set aside. To the same skillet, I am going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter. Allow that to melt a little bit. And if you have any of the oil, if it's too much, you can drain out some of the oil because this is going to be a butter-based type of sauce, not oily, butter, you know? You want the butter flavor more. So I'm going to allow that to melt. Once it's about halfway, I'm going to add in minced garlic. Stir it just like that. Once your garlic starts to fragrance, just like so. You are going to add in your honey, okay? Honey is going in. This is about 1/4 cup. Not 1/4 cup. This is about 3 tablespoons of honey. Pour that in. This is going to be buttery, sweet, and also we have the soy sauce that has a little bit of salt to it to balance the honey. Then we're going to add in the soy sauce. Pour that in. It's smelling amazing already. Now, if you want more sauce, you can just double this recipe. Then I am going to place my salmon back in there. Just like so. It smells so good. Okay. Place this one in here. And whatever sauce I have on the plate, I'm going to pour that in here. And now all you gotta do is baste your salmon. Now I'm going to baste the salmon with the sauce. And as you can see, the sauce kind of increased a little bit, all the juice from the salmon. Just baste it. And this recipe is done. This is how easy it is to make yourself some delicious honey garlic salmon. Delicious, okay? So good. Now let's get ready to plate this. All right, now it's time for my favorite part, plating, my second favorite. So I'm going to add 1 scoop of that creamy mash, well, maybe 2. 1 or 2 or 3, okay? Just smooth it out just like so. Then I'm going in with my amazing, delicious, beautiful salmon. Ooh, looks so good. It smells so delicious. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm going to add in some of that sauce, that buttery, garlicky sauce on top. Looks so good, right? I know. It does taste as good as it looks, okay? To garnish, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of fresh parsley just to make it look pretty. And that is a recipe, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. All right, guys, it's time for the moment of truth, okay? I've been waiting for this the whole time, so let's give it a try. This flaky, delicious salmon. Oh, 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 look at that. It's nice and flaky, perfectly cooked. What? This looks so good. Oh. Wow. So good. As always, delicious, flaky, buttery salmon. The mashed potatoes, perfect. The garlic is just perfect. Let me give it another try. Looks so good. It tastes so good. It smells so good. This is, wow. I love this. This is everything, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you can try these recipes out very, very soon for your family. Don't forget, you can find all these recipes on my Facebook page, Island Vibe Cooking. You can follow me on all of my social media. They all Island Vibe Cooking. I will see you on the next recipe. Bye.